What's up guys, I'm Keelan from London Cars and today we'll be looking at the best first cars for new drivers. Now I'm going to be splitting up the types of new drivers into 5 categories and recommending 2 cars based on that category. Now before we get into it, I'd be really grateful if you were to like or subscribe, as I'm a super small channel and it really helps me out. So for the first category we have the lowballer. This is the type of person who just needs something to go from A to B and aims to do it for the lowest cost possible. As the cost of being a new driver in the UK is sky high, this mentality is definitely understandable for me. So my first recommendation for this type of person is the Peugeot 107 / Citroen C1. These are essentially the same car, so I've lumped them together. Powered by a dinky little 1 litre 3-cylinder engine pumping out a whopping 67 horsepower. It may not seem like much, but if you aren't regularly cruising on the motorway, it should really be adequate. It returns an impressive 61.4 miles per gallon and is easy to get into tight parking spaces. No, it won't impress anyone, but a decent example can be found for under £1,000 and a high mileage example for under 500. And this car is one of the cheapest to insure in the UK, and annual tax is only £20, perfect for you Scrooges out there. So my second choice for this category is the Volkswagen Fox. This boring little O'Connor box is the cheapest to insure on this list according to Admiral, with its 1.2 3-cylinder squeezing out 55 horsepower. High mileage cars can be had all day for under £500, but a good example's price is about the £1,000 mark. At 46.3 miles per gallon, it's not amazing, and the £145 road tax is about average for a city car, which is really all this car is, it's just average. The only thing differentiating it is its stupid low insurance, and also its stupid high 0 to 60 at 17.5 seconds, but it's still a pretty good choice for those just looking to get around. So my next section is for the car enthusiasts. Now I definitely consider myself a part of this group, as I'm a huge fan of the tuner scene. But of course you aren't likely to have a Toyota Supra as your first car, and if you do, I definitely envy you. So I've chosen these cars based off of the aftermarket community that they have, rather than pure speed. But I do also have a section for you speedsters out there later. So my first choice for this category is the Volkswagen Lupo. For some reason, unbeknownst to me, this car has a massive aftermarket community, despite not being fast or even amazing to drive. There's a choice of a 1 litre or a 1.4 litre 4-pot that would get you to 60, and to be honest that's about it. You may take ages to get to the car show with this, but at least you'll be able to park next to all your fellow Lupo drivers, and all for under £1,000. My second choice for this category is the Citroen Saxo. Again, it's definitely not a quick car by any measure, with a 1.1 litre engine on the base model, but it has a massive aftermarket community that has been around for over a decade now. And although it looks at aging, you'll be sport for choice with mods to bring them up to date. So my next category is for the Speedster. It's all about getting the lowest 0 to 60 time without massively inflating their insurance costs. So my first pick for this category is the Alfa Romeo Mito. With a 1.4 engine pumping out 95 horsepower, it can take you to 60 in 11.2 seconds. So although it's not super fast and the amount of power it has isn't super high, it's quite good for a car in this low insurance group. And with some weight reduction, I'm sure these times could be improved. It's also an amazing car to be in with leather seats and red trim, but watch out for those classic Alfa reliability issues. So my other choice is the Suzuki Swift GLX. With a 1.5 litre 4-banger and 101 horsepower, this should be enough to satisfy your taste for speed. It can be had for under £2,000 and is not too bad for insurance. It's pretty reliable overall, and although I'm not a huge fan of the looks, it has kept a feeling of modernity to it. So this category is the Chick. Although this name does make it seem more feminine, this is category also open to guys. This category is more focused on retro styling and looks both inside and outside the car. So my first choice for this is the Fiat 500. A higher mileage model will run you about £2,000 and it oozes retro chic and Italian flair. There are tons of trim levels to choose from, and and all of them come with very upmarket interiors. This car is also extremely cheap for insurance due to its small but not minuscule 1.2 4-cylinder. Perfect for nipping around the town in style, but always remember Fiats have electrical issues. So my second pick is the Mini Hatch, as it is again one of the best retro cars of recent years. With a 1.6 litre engine, this car is surprisingly fast with a 0 to 60 time of 10.9 seconds and a not unreasonable 90 horsepower. This car is bigger than the previously mentioned Fiat 500 and it feels like it too. The cabin is a nice place to be, but again watch out for those reliability issues, and as this car was built by BMW, parts are much more expensive. And now to our final category, the Baller. Although price does matter somewhat, you are all about looking flush in your whip. You have a bit more cash so you can shop around for your car. My choice for this category is the BMW 1 Series with either the 1.6 or 1.8 engines. So this car is rear-wheel drive, so if you want to, you can really drift it. And I advise against getting a diesel engine as they're a bit more troublesome. These cars belong to one of the most prestigious brands in the world and ooze class. Although this car is not seemingly expensive to purchase up front, the insurance and tax will take a toll. So my second choice for this category is if you really want to splash the cash. It's the Audi Q2. It's one of the cheapest SUVs to insure, and since SUVs and crossovers are all the rage these days, I had to include one in this category. It is a much newer car than all the rest on this list, so you can flex the leather interior to all your broke friends. Thank you so much for watching. If you want, feel free to like and subscribe, and since this is my first video using my voice, please tell me which you prefer. See you next time. This is London Cars.